to do a quick technique with you today using modeling cream by Viva Colour. What we're going to do is tint it. So I'm going to go ahead and pick a lighter color. This time I'm using Pearl, and as you can see it's very white, and because of that we can tint it. And I have a couple different techniques, and the first one we're going to do on this video is go ahead and use primary elements, which is a powdered paint pigment. And I'm going to make a couple little blobs, that's my professional term, of the modeling cream. Set that aside. Then I'm going to go ahead and open up about 3 different colors, because I'm going to create different shades of roses and pinks, because I want to do a rose stencil in a moment. So I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of Coralberry. I'm just going to stick my palette knife in and grab out just a little bit and go ahead and work it into the modeling cream. And as you see, it's starting to change color. We're going to get a nice kind of a shade of peachy, kind of a coral peach color. It's going to be a little light. Now, if I wanted to get it to be a little bit darker, I could do so. Just reach right in there, grab a little bit more pigment. I'm not going to be too shy with my pigments. Remember though, you can always add color. Kind of hard to take color away. And I kind of like the idea of not mixing it completely, because then it'll be variegated. So, go ahead and set this aside, and I'm going to go ahead and clean off my palette knife. And now I'm going to use a brighter pink. This is going to be Pink Azalea. Go ahead and work this in. And this one I want to be a little bit darker, so I added a little more. And I'm going to work it. As you can see, it doesn't take but 2 seconds. And I love the instant gratification part of this. So we will go ahead and clean that one off a little bit. Got my palette knife set aside. Wipe off the palette knife. And the last color I'm going to do is going to be a little bit of Hot Cinnamon. Hot Cinnamon is a nice bright red. As you can see in here, it looks a little bit brown. Don't be deceived. Wait till you see the magic happen. It is incredible. So I'm going to pour it right on top. Once again, work it in. This one we're going to work a little bit harder. And as you can see, it is a deep, rich color. Now, of course, because it's being mixed with white, it's a little bit pink. If you wanted to add it a little bit more to make it a little darker, which for the sake of video, let's go ahead and do it. And I'll tilt this up as soon as I mix the colors so you can really see. How about this? We'll go like this and just really work it in so you can see what's going on. Beautiful, right? Okay. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and use our modeling cream with a stencil. And today I'm just going to go ahead and do it on black foam core so you can really just see how beautiful the colors are and kind of see a little bit of a stencil trick. So let's move everything aside here and pull my stencil out, which is right here. What I did to make it easier and to give us a nice crisp image is I went ahead and used repositionable spray mount. I already sprayed my stencil so that I don't have to sniff it in my office. And since it's repositionable, it's not going to leave any residue on your project, and it will stick down so you get that real nice, crisp, clean stencil that you might want. So I'm going to go ahead, lay it down, smooth it out, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to choose a color. And I think I'm going to take a little bit of pink. I'm not going to do this whole board, I'm just going to do a portion of. So I'm going to take the pink, rub it across. Maybe I'll take some of the red now, do it right here. Basically, kind of like you would see in flowers in real life, the colors aren't perfect, they're not consistent. They have a little variegation, a little gradation, a little bit of shading, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. I just want it to be really inconsistent color-wise. And the beauty of this is that basically there's no rules. Also, you're really not having to worry too much about perfection, because first of all, it's hard to do, and second of all, the imperfections are what make this wonderful. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do now is go ahead and lift this off immediately. As you can see, we have a variegated rose pattern, and we're going to go ahead and set this aside. And then I'm going to show you one more little trick. Because we prepped our canvas, our stencil, with the spray. I'm going to go ahead and lay this down, and I'm actually making a background for a project here, and I'm just going to do some flowers down in this little corner just to use up the rest of my product. So we're just going to go ahead, spread it around, because the surface of this paper that I made is bumpy, but because I put down the repositionable adhesive, it kind of holds the stencil in place for me so that I get a little bit of a crisper outline on my roses that I probably want to at least tell that they're roses, right? So I'll spread it along, go like this. I'll use the last bits. I can't waste anything, so I have to use it all. That's what art journaling is good for. All my leftover paint stuff always ends up in my journals. That's exactly where this is going to end up, probably in a class sample. Okay, so let's spread that out. Very cool. Set this aside. I'll lift this up to you so you can see. Move this forward. Go ahead and lift it up. Set this aside. And you can see that we have, here, let's turn this around so you can get a better view. There we go. So now you can see that we've worked on our background for our art. Probably will end up in my art journal. I'll probably cut this just like that, stick it in my journal. Anyway, you can tell there's a little bit of variegation in it, and it's no longer white modeling cream. Anyways, that's one technique in colorizing your modeling cream. I'll make a second video for the next technique.